With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
This is VSiN PrimeTime. Live from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas on VSiN, the sports betting network.
We have a sneaky good pick, I think. The Ravens are allegedly selecting Marshall defensive end Mike Green at number 59. That, of course, is I think, you mentioned it, there were some off-field issues potentially for Green, but if you talk about it from a football perspective, Green led the nation over 17 sacks last season and could be a good value selection for a Ravens team that does pretty good with getting some diamonds in the rough on defense.
Yeah, you got to like that for the Ravens. Raiders, however, right before that, number 58, take Jack Beck, wide receiver from TCU, and we'll see if a quarterback comes off the board soon. We're getting close to the third round, JVT.
Yes, we are. So we head out to the Progressive Guest Line and welcome in Chuck Esposito, director of the Red Rock Sportsbook here in town. Chuck, we appreciate it. So I'll say in less colorful language what I did to you when we were just talking just now, when you asked me how I'm doing, and I said, just watching the Raiders mess up this draft right now. What have you made? You have officially seen it. Jack Beck, the 58th overall selection. What do you make of what Las Vegas has done?
You know, I'm on the fence with Genty. I love Genty. I think he's going to be a great back. A lot of carries last year, and normally it's that missing piece. You saw the Eagles last year and the Ravens add a running back that really helped. It's an offense that really needs a lot of help. They still need a wideout, in my opinion. You've got Bowers. You need some help at offensive line. You need some help at corner. But Genty's definitely going to be the face of that offense, and I am guessing he's going to have a lot of carries. We took advantage of that and put some props up with some of these rookie guys that went in day one, and the public likes Genty because they're already betting over in his props, guys.
All right, so I teased this earlier. Chuck, you put up props for some of the rookies, passing yards, rushing yards, touchdowns. You opened Ashton Genty of the Raiders at 999.5 rushing yards. JVT and I looked at that and said, you got to bet that over. I think the Raiders are going to run him as much as possible, try to make this pick look worthwhile. Have you taken over action since you posted this afternoon?
We have, but nothing that would make us move that one. We've actually taken over action on him going over 6.5 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
So that one we have moved the money. We had already shaded it over at minus $1.30. We had a layup price there, but that price has actually moved up because of the over money that we've taken.
All right, so you still have Genty at 999.5 for rushing yards?
999.5.
Okay. What about the other props you have up and the numbers you have currently?
Yeah, we saw over money come in, guys, on Cam Ward, 32.05.5 is over under passing yards. That would be less than both Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams had last year. We're guessing he's going to start week one. I mean, this is contingent on him playing week one, but we've seen over money there already. And then we had a couple of props up on Travis Hunter as well. His receiving yards, 650.5. His touchdowns, 5.5. Receiving touchdowns. And in both cases, we moved them. We saw over money come in both cases on Travis Hunter as well. So, again, Genty, Hunter, Ward, all over money has come in so far.
That's interesting. You also put props up on Teteroy McMillan, wide receiver for the Panthers, Matthew Golden, wide receiver for the Packers, and Colston Loveland, tight end for the Bears.
Yeah, we did. We kind of just wanted to target some of these guys in the first round that we thought were kind of intriguing. Haven't seen considerable action that would make us move the number on the rest of them, but they're up right now, and I think in the next day or so we're going to look to add some more props as well based on maybe some more of these guys that went in the first round or some of these second-round guys, especially some of the maybe second-round quarterbacks as well. So I think it'll be interesting. Overall, the draft props generated a lot of buzz and interest. We put up a lot more indexes this year, guys, and we actually posted a positive number at the end of the day, which is always a good thing because that doesn't normally happen with our pro football draft props.
I believe it. You probably had bettors playing the Cowboys to take a wide receiver, so things like that. I looked through your draft props, so you did come out ahead on the draft. I'm going to tell Derek Stevens that. That's for the record, right?
We did it.
Okay.
It wasn't a huge number, but it was a plus number, guys. So we'll definitely take that because that, again, has clearly not been the case over the last 5 or 6 years.
Chuck Esposito, Red Rock Sportsbook Director, with us. He loves the draft, unlike other bookmakers. JVT, update on the NBA.
Yeah, real quick, Indiana was in the midst of a 10-0 run, and their offense is cruising right now. 51-42, Pacers up on top. Kevin Porter Jr. misses a free throw. Bucks trail by 9. 2:27 left to go in the first half. Remember, Milwaukee closed as a 5-point favorite in the first half, despite laying that number for the game. So that is going to be something to watch.
You're looking good. Don't want to jinx it. Looking good with the Pacers in the first half.
Yep.
Chuck.
By the way, I wanted to issue a correction. It is Jack Besh, the wide receiver for TCU. Yes.
Chuck, quick timeout from the NFL talk. How about the NBA playoffs tonight? We got the Lakers and T-Wolves later tonight. Where are you seeing the money come in?
Guys, we have needed in both the NBA and NHL playoffs, we have needed puppy love every single night. We have needed some dog to come in. Game opened up to T-Wolves 3. It did climb up to 3.5, but we are seeing some Laker money. I think with, it's the last game of the night in the NBA, so everything live is going to be dumping into that. So my guess is we are still going to need the Timberwolves to win. We don't want the Lakers to win on the money line in that game tonight. For our side of the counter, same thing with the Knights of late, guys. From the fan side of it, big Knights fans, but from the business side of it, having them lose the last 2 games was definitely a plus for our side of the counter.
Have you the unders have been pretty strong in the early going here, the postseason, Chuck? Has the action reflected that as well? Have the bettors caught on to this?
Not yet. They're still backing the overs like they did all season. I mean, we saw such a lack of defense during the course of the season, guys, that it's only been a couple of games so far. And as we get into the weekend, I think you're going to see a lot more over money come in. But in both cases, we've seen a little bit of parity and some good runs for us. So we'll see what happens. But no question, again, we're continuing to root against the Lakers and against the Knights from the business side of it on a nightly basis.
Orlando 73, Boston 70. 1 minute to go in the third quarter. And Pacers up 8 over the Bucks with 1.5 minutes to go in Milwaukee. All right, back to the NFL draft. Chuck Esposito, Red Rock Sportsbook Director, with us. Chuck, what did you make? I asked Brent Musburger this. It's a lot to make. It's a lot to give away. The Jaguars moving up to number 2 to flip with the Browns, who gave up Travis Hunter. What did you make of that big deal in the first round on Thursday night?
I thought it was a lot for the Jags to give up. I had heard the buzz, and after drafting Brian Thomas last year and then losing Christian Kirk in the offseason and Ingram, I think they needed another wideout. I think he's a great two-way player. He might be the best player in the draft, but I thought they gave up a lot. Only time will tell if he's that missing piece that they kind of needed on that offense. But personally, I thought they gave up a lot.
All right, what was, let's say, a couple of your favorite picks in the first round last night as far as a fit with the team or things like that?
I thought the Giants. I mean, a lot of people will shy away from the best player in the draft or a position of maybe not need because you're loaded there. I mean, we know that they have Burns and they have DeMarcus Lawrence and they have Thibodeau, but you have a chance to get maybe the best player in the draft in Carter. I like that pick for the Giants. I mean, you're still in a league that you're going up against a division, Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott and Jaden Daniels. You might as well get some pass rushers now. And I didn't mind them trading back up to get Jackson Dart. And I thought Cleveland, I like what they did with the players that they got, getting Mason Graham and Judkins and the linebacker from UCLA. They're a team that didn't have a lot of picks going in. They now do. I think they've really helped a lot with what they've been able to do so far. I question a little bit the Cowboys pick in the first round and kind of anxious to see again what ultimately happens with some of these quarterbacks that are still sitting out there.
I'm laughing because I'm showing Matt Youmans an awesome fight between the Canadiens and Capitals that spilled onto the bench. So we got a good one.
That is a pretty good brawl. Yeah.
Chuck, before we have a couple of minutes left with you, I did want to bring up with you, do you think at some point the market will catch up with the fact that we overvalue these quarterbacks in the first round? We have now had 9 drafts in which we've had betting out here in Vegas. 7 of them have gone under on the first-round quarterbacks.
It's so hard, JVT, because it is a quarterback-driven league, And I know last year we had 6 guys go, and I really thought you might have 4 go this year in the first round. With what we talked about earlier off air, with Milroe being at the draft, I thought maybe a team had let him know they were definitely interested in trading back up. I thought Sanders could slide a little bit, but I didn't think he would slide out of the first round. Next year's quarterback class is supposed to be extremely deep. We know this year there's teams like the Steelers, the Saints, the Browns. Well, they're not the Browns now, but the Steelers and Saints definitely looking for a quarterback. So we'll see what happens, but I still think it's a quarterback-driven league, and that extra year, that 5th year that you have with a quarterback is kind of key for some of these young kids.
You had so many media talking heads hyping up the quarterbacks, too, and saying Jalen Milroe is going to be a first-round pick. Shedeur could still be a top 10 pick. Betting market didn't reflect that yesterday, but again, only 2 quarterbacks in the first round. And here we sit at pick number 60, Chuck, in the second round, and still only 3 quarterbacks off the board. Tyler Shuck from Louisville went pick number 40 to the Saints. What do you think happens here? Shedeur is sliding, Jalen Milroe is sliding, still got Quinn Ewers out there, and some other QBs. Do you think the Steelers, do you think the Browns, maybe even the Raiders take a quarterback in the third round? What's your guess?
Yeah, I think so. You named a few, Matt, but I still think that there's value with McCord from Syracuse, from Will Smith from Ohio State. I think if any of those guys goes to a better situation, maybe where they're not asked to start day one and they can sit for a year or two, I think it's going to help. I mean, so many of these young kids are asked to start week 1. But I liked McCord a lot. I still think he's kind of a quarterback that if he goes to the right situation, I think he'll be really good at the next level. So we'll see what happens. But the Steelers are the team that seem to be in on Shedeur the most. They don't pick again until number 89. If he's there, and as we kind of chatted about off air, maybe he's the guy they target at 89 since they were looking at him at 21.
Chuck, always good to talk to you. Thank you very much for the time, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right. Chuck Esposito over there at Red Rock Sportsbook.
Broncos on the clock, pick number 60. Do you know what the pick is? The pick is in.
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that like as in you had something.
It's about to be announced. I don't have this pick early.
Okay.
You got to feel pretty good. You made that bet on principle in the Pacers in the first half, and it gets there no sweat.
Yep. All right. We'll come back. We have plenty left to get to, and we got to get to a little bit more hockey, baseball scores, and more. But we are in the winner's book with the Indiana Pacers in the first half.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
I really can't get over the absurdity of this because it is worth not beating to death, but pointing out one last time. We're officially at halftime. Indiana leads Milwaukee 57-47. Milwaukee closed as a 5-point favorite in the first half. They closed as a 4.5-point favorite for the game. It's a ridiculous trend. We have talked about this ad nauseum. You and I have been on the opposite side of this going back to the Edge days. We have pointed out many times, like, look, this is a little ridiculous. The taxes
that number there
high.
Is just
that's
a radical adjustment. It was too much.
And it really
didn't matter.
Insane.
It turns out if the number was 2 or 5,
yep.
It was a no sweat winner. You got the Pacers up 10 at half.
Now, I also want to point this out because I do have the Pacers for the game as well here. They could come back and win this game, Milwaukee. But for the game, again, this is a 9-point swing from the game close for game 2 to where we're at right now, pre-flop at 4.5. That's the situation does not deem that. Indiana has completely outplayed them now through, hold on, let me see, 4, and then 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 2 is 10. So through 10 quarters, Indiana has completely outplayed Milwaukee. And the market was like, no, and I can't wait to see, do I dare say it? Is Indiana a 1-point favorite for game 4 if they win this game by double digits? Will the market react that strongly, or will we again see 5? Not. Because now the angle is they're super desperate.
I think you're going to see like Bucks 2.5.
Okay.
Something like that, right? If you go down 3-0 in a series, then people start to question, are they just going to pack it in?
Yeah.
Are you halfway to Cancun?
Could be. I mean, you start to ask I don't know if anything really happens, but I will say the tiny little thing that gnawing in the back of your mind, Giannis wants out. That starts to kind of get a little bit louder.
He got his brother on the bench, right?
I think so. I don't know. I'll have to double check. One of his brothers has a podcast. Don't we all? I don't remember which one it is, though.
Called the Should Have Bet More podcast.
That's
Will Hill.
I often confuse Will Hill with Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's exactly what I do. Let's see. Brother podcast. I know you listen to it all the time. This is actually a pretty good name. What is it? It's hosted by Thanasis Antetokounmpo. It's called Thanalysis.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
I have not listened to it.
That's almost as good as Father Knows Bets in terms of a punny name. That is obviously the segment with Joe Sorrell's father. I believe George?
George.
Okay.
He was a world-famous actor, I
Correct.
believe.
Yes. I'm a big fan of punny nicknames for things, so very good. Very good. All right, with that, couple of score updates here. We're at the break there. Did want to update, so a couple of things, actually. First off, Orlando up 79-72, 9:06 left to go in the fourth. If you believe.
This is an offensive grinder, by the way.
Yes, it is. In-game totals down to 188.5. Magic officially favored at -2.5, -185 on the money line. 7-point game. If you believe the Celtics can come back, you're getting +140 or thereabouts.
Remember when the Celtics got off to a hot start and had 22 points in the first, 8 minutes?
Yep. Should also note, so I want to go back to, we got a tweet earlier today. I want to get it right from who we got this from. I believe it was DJ Jams who had tweeted us. Yeah, DJ Jams tweeted in and said he's had his ticket, the 120-1 on Jacksonville to draft Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
We have two new co-favorites in Polymarket to draft Shedeur Sanders.
Browns?
Jets and Jaguars. Both 25% chance
Wow,
according to Polymarket.
really?
Browns are third at 23%.
This 125-1 is live.
Yeah. I mean, if you think this market's accurate, then absolutely it is. What a hit that would be.
The Browns have to take a quarterback in this round, right?
Ooh. Reverse mush right here.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. There's so much. I'm going to get back to that in a second. But, yes, I would think the Browns would go with the quarterback at some point. Whether it's Shedeur or not, but it makes sense.
Jalen Milroe, Kyle McCord, Quinn Ewers. I don't care. The Browns got to take a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Bears on the clock. Pick number 62 in the second round. The previous pick was Trey Amos, cornerback from Ole Miss, who went to the Commanders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bears, have not won a playoff game since 2010.
Really?
Yeah, that's the longest drought of any team in the NFC. Ben Johnson going to try to change that. Here we go. Defensive tackle Shamar Turner from Texas A&M is the pick by the Bears. First defensive pick, I think, for Chicago in this draft. Is this a third pick for the Bears who went offense on the first two, right?
I believe so, yes. This is a good tweet from Brian Howell, who covers the Colorado Buffaloes football. Never thought I'd be writing this, but Cordell Stewart remains the highest drafted quarterback from Colorado in NFL draft history. Stewart went number 60 overall to the Steelers in 1995. Shedeur Sanders remains on the board after 60 picks.
He does.
Yes, he does. So that's
and he might be on the board after another 20 picks in this round. Good tweet last night from Brett McMurphy, who was at the Action Network.
Mm-hmm. Like Brett. We're friends,
Brett's
some would say.
Good dude. He was in the Circa Friday Football Invitation.
He was.
Brett McMurphy tweeted, quote, "Weird stat.
Oh, yes.
Shedeur Sanders is the first player in college football history to have his number retired and not be selected 5 days later in the NFL draft's first round. That is a weird stat."
What an oddity.
Kansas City Chiefs now on the clock, pick 63. I had the Chiefs nailed on the mock draft last night. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle from Ohio State with a first-round pick. Yeah.
How'd you do on the mock draft? You
well,
going to finish?
Started out 7 for 7.
As many did.
Huh?
As many did.
Well, Ashton Genty going to the Raiders at 6. A lot of people changed that.
Oh, that's a good point.
I stuck with the original mock draft. Never came out with a second version.
Guns.
I think I only hit 2 after that, so maybe 9 for 32. Was just barely off on a bunch of them, but that's the way it goes. Chief selection. Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle from Tennessee.
That doesn't sound good. You weren't happy with that one?
Well, it's just not what I expected.
Oh, okay. What were you expecting? Wide receiver?
Didn't have him as a second-round pick.
Okay.
Yeah. Not expecting a quarterback. You know who I thought the Chiefs might be interested in was Travion Henderson, running back from Ohio State, but obviously he went off the board earlier in the second round tonight.
Quick note, 16 minutes and 13 seconds into the second half, and the Boston Celtics have scored almost as many points as minutes passed. They have 15 here in the second half.
Wow.
They are getting clamped down right now by the Orlando Magic.
I mean, that's why in live betting, when those numbers get up there, Celtics at one point were 9.5-point favorites on live betting, now 4.5-point underdogs, down by 9 with 8 minutes to go.
Knew it, too. I knew the second I saw the market get to 6, and I was sitting on a great number. I'm like, this thing's I'm cooked. There's no way. It's too good to be true. Huh?
You did say that before the show.
It's too good to be true. Those situations, it's just like the betting thing where it's just like, this is too good to be true.
Is this a contest play for you?
Celtics game, no. This was just an actual bet. I laid it with them. Contest play is the Indiana Pacers.
Good.
+5 for the game.
Hopefully good.
Yes, hopefully. We're at least in good position to do it. In very good position to do it. So we will see. If I can get there, would very much like it at this point right now.
We should talk one more time. By the way, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles on the clock for pick number 64. It's about to be announced, but we're going to tip off here very soon in Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. Game 3, T-Wolves 3.5-point favorites over the Lakers, total of 208.5. Give us your breakdown for this game that's going to tip off shortly.
Look, I actually don't really have a strong read on what this series has been so far. I've been off in the first 2 games on what's going to transpire. I haven't really been involved in it too much either from a standpoint of betting it. I thought the Lakers were going to take game 1. I thought the Timberwolves were going to cover game 2. And obviously it's been the opposite of both of those results right now. But I will say this. Through 2 games, I think what has stuck out and what I'm going to be very interested to see if on the road the Lakers can kind of snap out of this. Lakers offense, the constant has been it hasn't been good through 2 games. The Timberwolves have done a very good job in limiting this group on that end of the floor. Offensive rating of 108.1 in the win over Minnesota. Offensive rating of 106 in the loss to Minnesota. Both of those 35th percentile or worse, or 35th percentile or worse is the English way to say it. And I don't think they have answers to stymie that. And so if the Timberwolves get their mojo back on offense, I think this could end up being a pretty strong game for Minnesota. So strong lean to the Timberwolves. Depending on how these games shake out, it might just to have something to bet tonight be on the Timberwolves, but it would not be anything that I would recommend that others follow.
You know, one thing we don't talk about a lot, I don't think you do a lot of betting on it. I do very little player props. Did you do anything in the game tonight with the players?
No, I think there's a couple angles we can look at maybe a little bit later, but I didn't have anything strong. I do a lot of in-game player prop betting. I think that's a lot of fun, especially when we talk about guys that get off the hot starts, cold starts, and betting in on some of these adjusted numbers. This summer, go all in at Circa Las Vegas with the Ultimate Getaway Package, just $400. You'll get a 2-night stay at Circa, $100 dining credit, $100 beverage credit, and your very own day bed at Stadium Swim where the party never stops. All for just $400, resort fees and taxes included. Limited time offer valid for stays between May 26th and September 4th. Don't miss out. Lock in your all-in summer package right now at circalasvegas.com. I have to tell you something. My kids are going to go away for about 3 weeks in the summer. Wife and I are going to be hanging out all by ourselves. We are definitely taking advantage of this. Am I allowed to do it, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm all in.
It's a good idea.
On the summer
kids are going to be
package.
on for 3 weeks?
Oh, yeah, baby.
By the way, we talked about this before the series. Well, we'll talk about it now after the break. We were debating whether or not the Celtics were going to sweep this series, and I kept saying, well, this team tends to fall asleep at the wheel for one game. Is that going to happen tonight?
Let's find out.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Something has happened. So there's 2 cool nuggets I have for you regarding the draft. Would you like the historical fact or would you like the betting fact?
Betting fact.
Betting fact is we are through the second round into the third, and so the 100-1 Will Shedeur Sanders to not be drafted in the second round cashes. So our colleague here, Jeff Schwartz, had the ticket 100-1 Shedeur Sanders not to be drafted in the second round, and he's rolling in it. It cashed.
He was allowed to bet $1.
That is correct.
Did he give you the name of the sports book?
It's an offshore book, yeah.
He was limited to $1 on the bet.
Yep. So that is the betting fact.
Got $100.
The historical fact. We have had something occur in the NFL draft that has not happened since 2002.
Packers drafted a wide receiver in the first round for the first time since 2002.
Nope. Although, is that really true?
That is true.
So we have another thing that has not happened since 2002. It involves a college.
Okay.
There were no USC Trojans chosen in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft.
Oh, first time.
This is the second time that's happened since 2002. So
Okay.
As Greg Beecham puts, it's a good illustration how it went wrong at SC the last 2 years. Recruiting, coaching, development, everything has to
You would
improve.
not think that would be the case. When they hired Lincoln Riley, they probably thought they were going to have all sorts of blue chippers.
Yep.
Not the case. New York Giants go defensive tackle Darius Alexander from Toledo with the first pick of round number 3. So here we go. Will the Browns, will the Steelers, will the Raiders look to take a quarterback here in round 3? Now's when the picks start moving a little bit faster. This is good.
Yeah, you got to think that we're going to get something here. So next 2 picks, you're going to get the Chiefs, the Browns, and the Raiders. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Browns got to take a quarterback.
I mean,
I'm saying the Browns take a quarterback here.
I'm going to laugh because the first 3 picks for the Raiders in this draft are going to be running back, wide receiver, and quarterback. It's going to be great. You think the Chiefs draft them?
No.
You never know.
No, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Chiefs need to go defense.
Yeah.
Took offensive tackle in the first round. I bet the Chiefs go defense.
I would think that's the case.
You know the pick?
No, I do not. I'm looking right now to see if I'm not looking at you, I'm trying to find out what's going on. We do have a little bit of, not like breaking news, but we do have some updates for tomorrow in the NBA. We are going to get Game 4 of the Clippers-Nuggets series. Official injury reports. Russell Westbrook is still questionable with his left foot injury. And Adelman, the interim coach for the Nuggets, saying on Michael Porter Jr. playing through his injury, quote, if Michael is available, he's playing. So we still have yet to see if he will be available. But Porter Jr. not fully healthy with that shoulder, whatever it is. That's about it. Okay.
Chiefs did go defense. They went edge rusher Ashton Jalop from Louisville.
There you go. You called it. Good job. Want to update this too. We have a couple of things. First off, Jason Tatum with a strong finish. He gets fouled. He's going to get an and-one opportunity here. Celtics trying to desperately claw back into this thing. We are approaching the second half of the final quarter of play, and just over that halfway mark. With this free throw, it is good. We have a 3-point game out in Orlando. Boston trails 86-83. We are very much trending under the total right now.
Celtics 9-0 run in the last minute 15.
And this is what, hey, look, they're good enough on defense to do it, and now you're closing this game out. So we'll see. I do have the Celtics minus 3.5 for the game. Should they be able to get back into this, it's not the worst number to have, obviously, because of where the market closed, but if they take a late lead, free throw shenanigans could get you over, which is always something to monitor in a postseason game, as usual. So 86-83, I think we have some free throws coming for Wendell Carter Jr. potentially. Also, speaking of injuries, Wendell Carter Jr. is also dealing with a little thing, and he's grabbing at his shoulder right now. So 3-point game, Magic trying to put this thing away, but still plenty of time left. And we're also waiting for the end of this game, because that is when our game of the night will take place between the Lakers and the Timberwolves. So with that, we get the G-Bank Best Bet of the night. Of course, Best Bet's always brought to you by our friends over at G-Bank. Before I go, did you have anything tonight, later this evening, that you were going to play?
No, I'm waiting to cash a couple of draft best bets.
Okay.
And that's Jalen Milroe to the Browns at plus 230 and Shedeur Sanders to the Steelers at plus 550. Also got Cam Skattebo, running back from Arizona State, under 120.5. So the only 3 draft bets I have left pending are those 3.
All right. For me, it won't be anything for tonight, but we can look ahead to tomorrow, as always, and I will plant my flag. I think that there is a wide gap between these teams. Westbrook's not healthy. Porter's not healthy. I think that this is going to be a potential bloodbath these next few games in this series. I think you can lay it with the Clippers. I did. Let's do it. Clippers minus the 6 right now. But I would also recommend you can hold out. Like, I think there might be some buyback here in the Nuggets, especially if like Westbrook plays and Porter is available. You might see this get back down to 5. So just hold out and see if that's going to happen. But I do think the Clippers, even at 6, that's fair, especially if Porter and Westbrook aren't healthy in that game. Sunspot's up to 6.5. But the Clippers tomorrow, my best bet for our G-Bank best bets. And as we know, G-Bank always up in the ante with up to a $750 bonus for G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers. If you're a new customer, you spend $1,000 on eligible purchases. From 90 days of account opening, you're going to receive a $250 bonus. And in addition, if you spend $50K on gaming and sports app loads within 30 days, you're going to receive another $500 bonus. Together, that's $750 worth of bonuses. Apply now at VSiN.com/GBank, VSiN.com/GBank, subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. Credit to the Bucks. They have stormed back into this thing. They trailed 57, or excuse me, at the half, I should say, by 10. Yeah, I was going to go with that. But either way, it is a 15-3 run, and it was 59-47. So how about that? I got that right. 15-3 run over the last 4 minutes here in the second half for Milwaukee.
Right back in it, and so are the Celtics right down 6-0 with 5 minutes to go, a long way from over. Last night, that OKC Thunder Memphis game flipped in no time in the final 5 minutes. Here's the Cleveland Browns are on the clock right now. In the NFL, it's not that hard to win a division, right? You got 4 teams in the division.
Yeah.
You'd think that's not that difficult to win. You know when the last time was the Browns won the division?
Was that the Derek Anderson year? They went to the playoffs?
I want to tell you what, it's before you were born.
No way. They didn't. Okay, all right.
Browns last won the division in 1989.
Okay. Did they even make it to the playoffs with Derek Anderson? Maybe I'm just misremembering that. I know they had a good year.
I think they did. But
okay.
Maybe wild card.
Yeah.
Obviously did not win the division.
Mm-hmm.
1989. Think about it. That's stunning.
Wow. Sometimes you just stumble into a division win.
Even the Bears have won one.
Yep.
So the Browns on the clock. Is this going to be a quarterback? Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett on the roster. Your guy, Joe Flacco, back with the Browns.
Oh, yeah, Mike. Come on. Stop. They actually, there's people who are saying he's going to start for them.
Here we go. Browns pick is in.
You can't. There's no way you could realistically start Joe Flacco in the year of our Lord 2020.
Kenny Pickett's going to be the starter.
He's got to be. There's no question about it. All right, Brown selection is in. We are waiting to see if they will draft a quarterback, and they are. Ooh, man. You going to say yes or no? Final answer.
I like this pick. Harold Fannin Jr., tight end from Bowling Green.
Wow, I was just thinking that. When was he going to go off the board?
No, this guy's a hell of a tight end. I actually love this pick.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. And the Browns have more picks here in the third round, so they could still get a quarterback, right? Well, they get 2 more picks in the third?
I believe so. I'll double check for you right now.
This is a really good pick. So now I'm starting to I got to give the Browns a little bit more credit. They've had a really good draft, and are making the most of these picks. Harold Fannin is a stud tight end. To get him in the third round, props to the Browns.
The Browns have one more for a third round selection, excuse me. It is the 94th overall pick.
94th overall?
Yes.
Ooh, they got to wait a while. Raiders on the clock. Raiders pick is in. We'll see which way
they ran to the podium, huh?
Yeah, they got this one in fast.
Yep. Ran to the podium. All right. Well, at least they know who they have. I mean, they have to start making picks now. You can't just keep trading back. That's at some point you have to fill the roster.
Harold Fannin, nice job.
You really like that pick?
Nice job by the Cleveland drafter. Yeah.
How good could that be? Could he be a sneaky rookie of the year candidate?
Let's put it this way: he might be the best tight end in this draft.
Really?
In a draft with Tyler Warren and a draft with Colston Loveland, I think Harold Fannon's right there with those guys.
Okay. I mean, the
great value in the third round. Let's put it that way.
The talking heads on social media would echo your sentiments, it would seem.
All
so
right.
Maybe a long shot there, potentially for some good noise when it comes to the rookies and the Rookie of the Year run that you could get. That's also something we can discuss. Is we have odds up now for Rookie of the Year, obviously with these first round selections done, and a bunch of rookies are obviously still finding their way to teams. But large thought being is that top end picks are going to be winning your awards here at this point. I don't mind. Who's the kid out of Marshall that the Ravens just drafted? Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Mike Green.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good.
Mike Green, that was a value pick by Baltimore. He slipped all the way out of the first round, had some off-field concerns. Raiders go cornerback Darian Porter from Iowa State with pick number 68. So the quarterbacks keep on sliding, JVT.
Yes. And that's so as this shakes out, so after the Raiders, here's your next few picks. Patriots, not going to get a quarterback. Lions, not going to get a quarterback. Saints, not going to get a quarterback. Bills, not going to get a quarterback. I'm going to call my shot right now. Shedeur Sanders will go, or a quarterback will go. I shouldn't say Shedeur. With the 73rd overall pick.
Got it?
Jets.
See that happening.
Call my shot
I'll
now.
tell you right, I would say that a team could trade, but it seems at this point you don't need to trade up to get a quarterback.
Yeah, right.
No.
All right, it's a 3-point game with 3:47 left to go in the fourth. Can Boston do it? We'll find out as we roll on here on VSiN PrimeTime. Point game out in Orlando and a 3-point game in Milwaukee. We've got some tight ones here, but the one in Orlando, the one we have our eyes on, is the Magic hold a 91-88 lead with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the fourth. But we have a surrender Cobra. Franz Wagner is not happy with something. Was he just called for a foul? Ooh, I think, and that might have been before the ball was inbounded. So that might be a very serious infraction here if that is indeed the case. throws up his elbows into the chest of Kristaps Porzingis, and that is indeed what they call here. So a free throw for Jason Tatum, and the Celtics will inbound the ball. 91-89, 3:12 left to go in the fourth. Can't do that.
Magic up 2, now 1.5-point favorites for the game. Total down to 193.5. 3 minutes to go.
Come on.
How about the Pacers now? They have fallen behind the Bucks 72-69. 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Isn't this going to be something if the Bucks actually cover the game, but don't cover the first half?
Oh, they're down 10 at halftime.
I know. That's what I'm saying, though. Can you imagine? Everybody and their mother driving that market up so high, and then they actually pull it off for the game?
Pulled off, cover for, hey, it's the NBA. Nothing stuns me
No.
when it comes to things like that.
Not at all. Paolo Banchero with a step-back three cannot get there, and so the Celtics are going to have a chance on this possession to tie it up or take a lead with 2:45 left to go. Banchero's a pretty big guy. I don't know why you don't try to get a little bit more physical.
You got to drive to the rim.
You're in the bonus, right? It's been a chippy game. Try to put the onus on the officials.
Look at this.
And a wide-open lane to the bucket for Derek White.
Right down the middle of the lane with no resistance. What the hell was that by Orlando?
That is reminiscent. 17-5 run for the Celtics over the last 4:38. That is reminiscent of the lack of resistance that one Travis Kelce found in the middle of the field against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas.
Yeah, it was.
But Franz Wagner puts Kristaps Porzingis in a blender, back up on top, 93-91 with 2 minutes left to go. And Giannis with a free throw. See, this is great, dude. Like playoff action, everything going on. So down with this.
The tip on the Lakers T-Wolves game's been pushed back.
Yes.
To what, 6:48?
Would assume, because it's going to follow Celtics and Magic. So they're assuming that you're getting pushed back here because of that. Tough turnaround jumper can't go down for Tatum.
Well, you're talking about driving to the rim, and that was a high degree of difficulty turnaround jumper. That shot didn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, it would have looked good in a highlight. Should they have come back and win this game? I don't think that was.
It was a mid-range fadeaway turnaround jumper. Okay.
Kobe.
Get a better shot.
Yep. Ooh, Franz Wagner's coming up big here. Back-to-back possessions where he has eaten Kristaps Porzingis for lunch.
No doubt.
And gotten to the bucket. Yep. 95-91.
I like that. He's driving to the rim.
Right. This we were talking about. Ask your team to do that. Either put the onus on the officials or drive by a poor defender. Peyton Pritchard, tiny little man, gets caught up in space, tries to drive, can't get it done. And now 95-91, we are on thin ice here if you're the Celtics. Big defensive possession, 13 seconds left on the shot clock, and we have just hit under 60 seconds for the game. Down by 4. Desperately need a stop if you're Boston, if you want a chance at trying to pull this off. And Wagner's three-point shot so good. So, Celtics, come on now. Got to get it done. And now we're going to have a 10-minute review. So,
yeah, I think that's going to be Celtics ball. On the scramble for the loose ball out of bounds. If you bet Boston to sweep this series, you got your back against the wall right now.
Yep.
47 seconds to go, Magic up 4. I do think, I'm going to guess this is going to be Boston's ball after the review.
Yeah.
Derek White's down on the floor right now. Where we at here? Bucks up 4.
Yep.
And Magic up 4. And we're still waiting for Lakers T-Wolves to tip.
Yes, we are. That'll be the late game here. Game right now, or the number for the game. We're moving up to 4 at multiple spots with a total of 208 for Lakers and Timberwolves.
Said you like T-Wolves a little bit tonight, right?
Yeah, I think T-Wolves are the side. You don't have to twist my arm about it, but not enough conviction and or a perceived edge by my measure that it was worth really jumping in on, but do think the side fits them. And again, like through 2 games, we haven't really seen much of this offense from the Lakers, and I don't think that's really going anywhere. They have not had an answer for this defense overall. And the offensive efficiency has been pretty poor for LA through these first few games. And I don't think that goes anywhere when you hit the road to take on Minnesota at this point right now. So if the Lakers win, and that's the other part, we've seen this total really adjust. Wouldn't be surprised if it's low scoring, but I also think that this is just going to be a grinder of a game regardless. But some of the numbers for the Lakers, I think this is what sticks out to you too. Through 2 games right now, 16-24 at the rim in the second game, but just 10 of 18 at the rim in the first game. So it's just about a coin flip when you're talking about what they've been able to do in the restricted area. It's got to be a little bit better than that. And I don't think it's getting any better with the size and Rudy Gobert, what they boast in the middle for the mini Timberwolves right now. All right, we're at the break in both of our games. Crunch time right now and the review. Did you see anything in terms of the replay here? You think this is going to be a Celtics game,
I still think it's going to be Celtics
ball,
but we didn't see a replay before it went to commercial and showed that new triple cheeseburger at Sonic.
Okay.
The
you hungry?
Smasher. I am getting hungry. We got about an hour left in the show.
You a big Sonic guy?
No, I'm not a big Sonic guy. I think I've got it ranked somewhere around probably 48 to 50 in the fast food top 50. So
okay, all right.
I might have even slipped out of the rankings last year. I can't recall. I'd have to look it up. But that new triple cheeseburger at Sonic looked pretty good. Right now, anything looks pretty good. 3 hours into this show.
It's flying by. What are you talking about?
It is flying by, but this is about the time I get hungry.
I could do this
every
forever.
night. Huh?
I could do this forever.
Buffalo Bills pick is in, round 3, pick number 72. It's not going to be a quarterback,
No.
right?
No, I would think that is not the case.
How about these Shedeur Sanders? Aaron Moore just texted me. These Shedeur Sanders tickets are still live. To go to the Steelers at plus 550, plus 650. He is. We're getting inching closer to that mid 80 pick area where the Steelers are going to go again.
Yep. So that is why too.
It looks like he's going to be on the board when the Steelers pick.
So we've seen a shift in the poly market odds right now. Right now, let me double check to see this is the case. The Steelers, I think I've got him as the favorite. Hold on, let me refresh this to make sure. Because we have all right. So the Steelers are now the favorite to draft him. He is about a 30.9% according to the market right now. I do think that part of that is because they are approaching, but not like anytime soon. Jets are coming up here at 73 overall. Then the Broncos, the 49ers, the Cowboys, Patriots, Cardinals, Texans, Colts, Bengals, Titans, and then the Steelers at the 83rd overall selection. So we still have 11 picks until the Steelers get to where he's at. But it is the most likely team that will draft a quarterback in the next 11 picks outside of potentially the New York Jets, as I have called I called my shot.
Sleeper.
I said that this was going to be it right here.
We have a viewer, too, who's got a 120-1 ticket on the Jaguars. But the Steelers are going to get a crack at Sanders before the Jaguars, it appears.
Yep.
At this point, no team's going to trade up for a quarterback, right?
I would think not.
If you really wanted these guys, you've had plenty of chances to get them.
I mean, and I know we're focusing on Shedeur, but as we have pointed out here too, the other storyline is that Jalen Milroe is obviously still available as well, and that's going to be
ESPN hyped him up as a first-round pick too.
Yeah, well, he got invited. Remember? I mean, again, that was the funny thing is McShay had a very funny report, which was he was invited to the draft, and multiple teams didn't understand why, and that proved to be true.
I remember the day it was announced, the players who were invited to go to the draft, and Tim Murray and I were talking. We said, why in the hell is Jalen Milroe invited to the draft?
Yeah.
That's a head-scratcher. And apparently he's gone home.
Yep.
Why? Seriously, it's very confusing why a quarterback like that, who's a fringe first-round pick anyway, would be invited to attend.
Mm.
And now we're sitting here early in the third round, and his name still has not been announced. That's careless and sloppy by the NFL to invite him to the draft. All right, anyway, more importantly,
quick update
we're coming down
here.
the stretch here in the Celtics Magic game. What do we have? Was that a block shot?
No, so that's going to be important if that's going to be the case. So it's funny here. So Franz Wagner tries to attempt a three-point shot, does not get it, and Al Horford actually deflected it. Initially, Horford was saying he blocked it, but then he realized it went out of bounds, and he pointed that other direction. We have a transition dunk with no resistance, Derek White, right down the floor. So there's about a 5-second differential, shot clock and game clock. So you're going to be able to play this down?
Oh, did that ball get tipped? That was almost an over and back violation.
It was almost over and back. And they're going to call a foul here, it would seem. So I thought there was it seemed to be it's a little bit less, about a 4-second violation, a little bit less than that. But I don't know what we're calling here. The Magic don't look happy.
I'm not even sure if that ball wasn't tipped, that's over and back.
Yeah, let's see here. So Paolo Banchero's bringing the ball up. We're watching the replay right now.
Look at that. That's over and back.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I think Tatum does get his hand in there. I don't know if
I thought he just lost control of the dribble.
Let's see.
Right here.
We're going to be able to see this up close. And Tatum's hand. No, he taps it. Yeah, Tatum touches it.
He did take the ball.
Yeah, so this is going to be, I don't know what. Wow. Are they calling a jump ball? Like, what are we doing here? Because the Magic are not happy about whatever has transpired.
Actually, it should be Orlando possession without a jump ball.
It should be. Yeah. So I don't know what the problem is or what we're debating. So the joys of watching a game
the refs
with
don't
no
either.
Sound. Yeah.
So they'll have to go to the monitor. How long are they going to sit around in Minnesota and wait to start this game?
I don't know, but we should also note that it is getting out of hand.
Started. The Lakers T-Wolves just tipped off.
We should also note that it is maybe getting out of hand in Milwaukee. An 8-point lead for the Bucks. What a strong third quarter with 90 seconds left to play. Final hour of VSiN Primetime on the other side.